In the heart of America's East Coast, just across the water from the Statue of Liberty, lies a story almost no one knows, a story the U.S. government quietly buried for decades, a story whose explosion was so powerful. It shook skyscrapers in Manhattan, shattered windows across 3 states, and woke millions in the middle of the night, an explosion so devastating that for more than a century, the Statue of Liberty has never again allowed visitors inside her torch. Tonight, we uncover the forgotten truth behind one of America's darkest hidden events, the 1916 Black Tom explosion, the German sabotage attack on U.S. soil, long before America entered World War I. This isn't fiction. This isn't a conspiracy theory, this is a documented historical event. Almost erased from public memory. Welcome to Unseen World, Chapter 1, A Nation Trying to Stay Out of War. 5 minutes. It's the early 1900s, Europe is tearing itself apart in the First World War, millions are dying overseas, but the United States, officially neutral, publicly peaceful, privately preparing for a storm. Though America isn't fighting, U.S. companies are making money supplying weapons, ammunition, and explosives to Britain and France. Entire shipyards and warehouses are filled with materials waiting to cross the Atlantic. One of these places is a tiny island in New Jersey called Black Tom. Black Tom wasn't much, just a man-made landfill peninsula connected to the Jersey City shoreline, but what it held was terrifying: over 2 million pounds of explosives, mountains of ammunition, train cars stacked with dynamite, giant warehouses filled with military supplies, and right across the water, the shining figure of Lady Liberty. But not everyone wanted those supplies to reach Europe, especially not Germany. Long before the CIA existed, even before the FBI had real authority, Germany had already built a secret spy network inside the United States. Their mission was simple: stop American supplies from reaching Germany's enemies. They were highly trained, well-funded, and hiding in plain sight. Some posed as businessmen, some worked on docks, some pretended to be peaceful immigrants, but behind closed doors, they were saboteurs, and they had one target bigger than all others: the stockpile at Black Tom, because destroying Black Tom would destroy millions of dollars of munitions, and cripple the Allied war effort. The German agents knew the risks, but they also knew the opportunity. Every day, American guards patrolled the area. Drunk, security was minimal, fences were flimsy, and the explosives, stacked carelessly in the open air. It was a disaster waiting to happen, a fuse waiting for a spark. Chapter 3, The Night of the Explosion, 8 minutes, just after midnight. On July 30, 1916. The saboteurs made their move. Reports say 2 men quietly approached the railcars loaded with explosives. They carried no guns, no heavy tools, just simple incendiary devices, cheap, small, and easy to hide. They slipped them underneath the ammunition crates, and walked away. At 12:40 a.m., the first fire sparked, just a tiny flame, barely noticeable. Rail workers saw smoke and tried to investigate, but it was already too late. At 2:08 a.m., New York City lit up like day. The explosion was so massive, scientists later estimated it reached the power of a 5.5 magnitude earthquake. The ground buckled, windows shattered across Manhattan, Brooklyn, Staten Island, and even parts of Pennsylvania. People were thrown from their beds, giant steel doors were ripped from their hinges. The Statue of Liberty trembled. Her arm, holding the torch, was damaged beyond repair. Some thought it was the end of the world. Newspaper reports from that night are chilling. A ferry captain said the sky turned white, like lightning that wouldn't disappear. A man in Jersey City claimed the air turned solid. A soldier miles away thought a bomb had dropped directly beside him. On Ellis Island, the blast was so strong it blew refugees out of their beds and sent children screaming into the halls. Firefighters risked their lives battling flames while ammunition detonated around them like a war zone. By morning, the scene looked like the aftermath of an airstrike: cratered earth, burning railcars twisted like tin foil, warehouses flattened, debris raining down for hours. The damage, over $500 million in today's money. And the worst part, everyone assumed it was an accident. Chapter 5, The Great Cover-Up. 6 minutes, the U.S. government was terrified if the public discovered that foreign agents had attacked American soil. While America was supposedly neutral, it could drag the nation into war, so the investigation was quiet, slow, and strangely incomplete. Authorities blamed it on careless workers, unsafe storage, even hot weather. For years, the truth was buried, but behind closed doors, investigators started noticing inconsistencies. The fires had multiple points of origin, there were no electrical faults, witnesses saw strange men on the docks, and German communication logs hinted at a successful mission. Yet still, the government said nothing, not until decades later. Chapter 6, The Truth Comes Out. 7 minutes, after World War I, the U.S. created a special board to demand compensation from Germany. Most cases were minor, but one stood out, the Black Tom explosion. Investigators reopened the files, interviewed spies, reviewed German intelligence documents. The verdict? Germany did it. It was sabotage. And it was intentional. In 1939, 23 years after the explosion, Germany was officially found responsible. They were ordered to pay millions in damages, and after years of negotiations, Germany finally paid the last settlement in 1979. Yes, 1979, 63 years after the explosion. Chapter 7, The Statue of Liberty Secret. 6 minutes, there's one consequence of the Black Tom attack that millions of tourists unknowingly experience every year. Before 1916, visitors were allowed to climb up to the Statue of Liberty's torch. From the torch, the view of New York Harbor was breathtaking, but after the explosion, the torch was structurally damaged, cracks formed, the internal staircase warped. Metal supports weakened, the government quietly closed it. With no public announcement, and to this day, the torch has never been reopened to the public, not because of maintenance, not because of safety upgrades, but because of a 1916 attack that almost no one remembers, a forgotten scar. Hiding in plain sight. Chapter 8, Why Americans Never Hear This Story. 6 minutes, so why don't people know this? Why did America bury one of its largest explosions? The truth is uncomfortable. The government was embarrassed, security was negligent, saboteurs operated freely on U.S. soil, and the attack exposed how unprepared America really was. Textbooks often skip stories that make the country look vulnerable. But hiding history doesn't erase it. Black Tom was one of the most successful foreign attacks on American soil until Pearl Harbor. Chapter 9, The Legacy of Black Tom. 5 minutes, today, Black Tom Island no longer exists. It was absorbed into Liberty State Park. Families picnic there, kids play soccer, joggers pass by without a clue of what happened beneath their feet. A small stone marker sits quietly near the water. Most people walk past it without reading the plaque, but if they looked closer, they'd discover the truth. You are standing on the site of the Black Tom explosion, one of the worst acts of terrorism in American history. The crater is gone, the debris is gone, but the impact remains, because Black Tom changed national security, it changed immigration policy, it changed counterintelligence, it forced the U.S. to take sabotage seriously, and it forever changed the Statue of Liberty. Ending. For minutes, low dramatic score begins, a forgotten island, a secret sabotage network, a country caught unprepared, and an explosion powerful enough to shake the world's greatest symbol of freedom. This is the kind of history that never makes it into school books, the kind that disappears into shadows, the kind that belongs to the unseen world. If you've listened this far, you now know something most Americans never will, a real story, a buried story, a story that shaped the nation in ways still felt today. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, stay curious, stay aware, and remember, the world you see is only half the story. Music fades out.